Hello, friends. Yet another edition of my WWF, my wonderful world of whiskey. Today I'm going to share information about blending. Blending has been an art in manufacturing of whiskey. Now, I tend to call it as art and science due to technological advances. The color, flavor, aroma, taste, feel, finish, all these things depend on blending. Do you know who was the first to blend the whiskey? And where it was done and when it was done? I will tell you that. Proof, body and finish are often heard, but how many whiskey drinkers know about this? Let me share this information too. For a particular whiskey brand, the color must be consistent batch after batch. The flavor, aroma, taste are the key issues, and that shouldn't change. And the same goes for body and finish. How is this done? There are many parameters that need consideration and adjustment, and this is where the art and science of blending works. Let me share each of these aspects. First, color. This can be easily identified, and it can be from a pale umber to deep mahogany for whiskies. Flavors and aromas need to be identified. Pour a drink, bring it close to your lips and breathe through nose and mouth. Try to identify the flavors and aromas. If needed, add a small quantity of water. Scotch whisky generally has any of the flavors and aromas like apples, chocolates, citrus zest, grass, hay, honey, iodine, leather, oak, oranges, prunes, resins, smoke, tobacco. There are usually more than 2 flavors and aromas in whiskey, depending upon the cask used and multiple other factors. Proof tells us how much alcohol the beverage has. For a beverage to qualify as a whiskey, it must be 40% alcohol. When ABV, that is alcohol by volume, is 40%, then in American terms it is 80 proof as per the Gay-Lussac scale, whereas by UK standards it is 65 proof as UK uses Sykes scale. I take a small sip of undiluted or slightly diluted whiskey and swish it around in mouth to get a coat of the beverage. At this stage, I need to get a feel in the mouth. If that small quantity gives a feeling of mouthful of whiskey, then it is a full-bodied whiskey. If the feel is weak or watery, then it's a light or thin-bodied. Some whiskies are medium-bodied, but that certainly doesn't mean that the whiskey is not good. Now, when I swallow the drink, I check whether it feels hot, warm, or astringent in throat. Take another sip and detect the individual flavors. Now I check how long the flavors linger in throat. If it stays for a minute or so, then it has a medium finish, and the longer it stays, it has a long finish. Now the question is, why do they blend whiskies? Generally, single malt whiskies are expensive. When blending is done, single malt has to be minimum 20% alcohol by volume in that blend, and rest can be neutral spirits or other grain or malt whiskies. Due to blending, the cost gets reduced, and thus the whiskey lovers can enjoy a good blend at a lower price. If blending is done with 3 different single malt whiskies that are aged 12 years, 10 years and 8 years, then by law the blend can claim age of the blend as 8 years and not 12 years. Different casks impart different flavors, aromas and colors. When the distillate is transferred to cask, maturity of spirit or the smoothness is different for spirit in the each cask. Spirits in the cask at lower level are less matured than the one in the cask at higher level due to difference in temperature in same warehouse. The colors can vary. This is where the blenders use their skills and expertise to blend different ingredients, including colors and aromas, to remain consistent batch after batch and provide the same product to the customer. Blending is a secret process, and we may not find any images or details on how a particular brand is blended. It's art and science. Hats off to the master blenders across the globe. Next time when you buy a blended whiskey, just study the label if not done earlier. That will certainly add to the experience and the pleasure of drinking a particular brand. Let me share with you my question that who and when the blending started. It was Andrew Usher II who started blending whiskey in Scotland in the year 1860s. In that time, whiskies were very raw and strong in flavor. He found that by blending grain whiskies with single malt whiskey, he could offer a more palatable, lighter and a sweeter whiskey in character. Next time, I will share information about whiskies around the world and the Scotch. Till then, enjoy your drink and bye.